Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India, India's voice to the world. I'm Tanvi Taneja, coming up in the next 30 minutes. In a historic move, India and the EU conclude negotiations on the landmark free trade agreement, deal termed as mother of all deals, to represent quarter of the world's economy. Prime Minister Modi calls the conclusion of the India-EU FTA negotiation historic, calls it a blueprint for shared prosperity. Both the sides exchange MOUs in key sectors. President Donald Trump to raise tariffs on certain South Korean goods from 15 to 25% for not enacting trade agreement with the United States. India and the European Union today concluded negotiations for a historic, ambitious and commercially significant free trade agreement. At the 16th India-EU Summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, along with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa, reviewed the full spectrum of India-EU ties and discussed ways to further accelerate the deepening of India-EU partnership. Discussions focused on trade and economic cooperation, clean energy and climate action, digital and emerging technologies, including AI, connectivity and infrastructure, supply chain resilience, mobility, skills, research and innovation, and enhanced cooperation in security and global affairs. Both sides concluded the negotiations for the landmark India-EU FTA, adopted towards 2030 India-EU Joint Comprehensive Strategic Agenda, and signed MOU on Comprehensive Framework on Cooperation on Mobility. Besides, both sides also concluded security and defense partnership. These important outcomes, along with others, will provide a framework for the partnership for the next 5 years and beyond, strengthen national security, boost trade, investment, create jobs, enhance manufacturing and services, and smoothen the movement, especially for students, workers and researchers. The leaders reiterated that the India-EU partnership is forged in mutual objectives of peace and prosperity for our peoples and for global good. So, while addressing a joint press conference in New Delhi with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and President of the European Council Antonio Costa, Prime Minister Modi underlined that the agreement, biggest in India's history, reflects growing trust, shared values and a common commitment to peace, stability and cooperation in an increasingly uncertain global scenario.
आज भारत ने अपने इतिहास का अब तक का सबसे बड़ा फ्री ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट संपन्न किया है। यह एक ऐतिहासिक समझौता हमारे किसानों, हमारे छोटे उद्योगों, इसकी यूरोपियन मार्केट तक पहुंच आसान बनाएगा, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग में नए अवसर पैदा करेगा और हमारे सर्विसेज सेक्टर के बीच सहयोग को और प्रबल करेगा। यह एफटीए भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच इन्वेस्टमेंट को बूस्ट करेगा, नई इनोवेशन पार्टनरशिप बनाएगा और वैश्विक स्तर पर सप्लाई चेन को मजबूत करेगा। यानी
Prime Minister Modi stressed that India's cooperation with the
European Union के बिजनेस लीडर्स, आप सबको मेरा नमस्कार। भारत यूरोपियन यूनियन बिजनेस फोरम में भाग लेने पर मुझे बहुत ही खुशी हो रही है। यूरोपियन यूनियन काउंसिल और कमीशन के प्रेसिडेंट की यह भारत यात्रा कोई साधारण डिप्लोमेटिक दौरा नहीं है। यह भारत यूरोपियन यूनियन रिश्तों में एक नए युग का शंखनाद है। पहली बार यूरोपियन यूनियन के लीडर्स उनका भारत के गणतंत्र दिवस के मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में शामिल होना, भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन के बीच भारत के इतिहास का सबसे बड़ा एफटीए संपन्न होना और आज इतने सारे सीईओज के साथ इतने बड़े लेवल पर भारत यूरोपियन यूनियन बिजनेस फोरम आयोजित होना, ये सब उपलब्धियां विश्व की दो सबसे बड़ी लोकतांत्रिक शक्तियां इनके बीच हो रहे अभूतपूर्व अलाइनमेंट का प्रतीक है। फ्रेंड्स, यह अलाइनमेंट कोई एक्सीडेंट नहीं है। मार्केट इकोनॉमीज होने के नाते हमारे साझा मूल्य हैं। वैश्विक स्थिरता के प्रति हमारी साझा प्राथमिकताएं हैं और ओपन सोसाइटीज के रूप में हमारे लोगों के बीच स्वाभाविक जुड़ाव भी है। इसी मजबूत आधार पर हम अपनी साझेदारी को नई ऊंचाई दे रहे हैं। हम इसे विश्व की सबसे प्रभावशाली साझेदारियों में से स्थापित कर रहे हैं और इसके नतीजे भी हमें साफ दिख रहे हैं। पिछले 10 वर्षों में हमारा व्यापार 2 गुना होकर 180 बिलियन यूरो तक पहुंच गया है। भारत में 6,000 से अधिक यूरोपीय कंपनियां काम कर रही हैं। यूरोपियन यूनियन से भारत में 120 बिलियन यूरो से अधिक का निवेश है। भारत की 1500 कंपनियां यूरोपियन यूनियन में मौजूद है और वहां भारतीय निवेश लगभग 40 बिलियन यूरो तक पहुंच चुका है। आज भारत और यूरोपियन कंपनीज के बीच R&D, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग और सर्विसेज हर क्षेत्र में गहरा सहयोग है और आप जैसे बिजनेस लीडर्स इसके कर्ता भी हैं और लाभार्थी भी। फ्रेंड्स, अब समय है कि हम इस साझेदारी को होल ऑफ द सोसाइटी पार्टनरशिप बनाएं। इसी सोच के साथ हमने आज एक व्यापक एफटीए पूरा किया है। इसे भारत के लेबर इंटेंसिव उत्पादों को यूरोपियन यूनियन मार्केट में इजी एक्सेस मिलेगा। इसमें विशेष तौर पर टेक्सटाइल, जेम्स एंड ज्वेलरी, ऑटो पार्ट्स और इंजीनियरिंग गुड्स शामिल हैं। फ्रूट्स, वेजिटेबल्स, प्रोसेस्ड फूड और मरीन प्रोडक्ट्स उसमें नए अवसर बनेंगे। इसका सीधा लाभ हमारे किसानों को, हमारे मछुआरों को मिलेगा। हमारे सर्विस सेक्टर को भी इससे फायदा होगा। विशेष रूप से आईटी, एजुकेशन, ट्रेडिशनल मेडिसिन और बिजनेस सर्विस लाभान्वित होंगे। फ्रेंड्स, आज ग्लोबल बिजनेस में बड़ी उथल-पुथल है। हर कंपनी अपनी मार्केट स्ट्रेटेजी और पार्टनरशिप को नए सिरे से देख रही है। ऐसे समय में यह एफटीए बिजनेस जगत के लिए एक साफ और सकारात्मक संदेश है। यह दोनों पक्षों की बिजनेस कम्युनिटी के लिए सक्षम, भरोसेमंद और फ्यूचर ओरिएंटेड पार्टनरशिप बनाने का स्पष्ट निमंत्रण है। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि आप सभी इस एफटीए के अवसरों का पूरा लाभ उठाएंगे। फ्रेंड्स, भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन की कई प्राथमिकताओं की उसको आपके बिजनेस पार्टनरशिप के भी लाभ मिल सकता है। मैं इस संदर्भ में 3 प्राथमिकताओं की बात करूंगा। पहला, आज विश्व में व्यापार, टेक्नोलॉजी और क्रिटिकल मिनरल्स को वेपनाइज किया जा रहा है। हमें साथ मिलकर अपनी निर्भरताओं को डी रिस्क करने की आवश्यकता है। क्या हमारी बिजनेस कम्युनिटी मिलकर ईवीज, बैटरीज, चिप्स और एपीआईज में बाहरी निर्भरता घटा सकती है? क्या हम भरोसेमंद सप्लाई चेन का साझा विकल्प खड़ा कर सकते हैं? दूसरा, भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन दोनों का फोकस डिफेंस इंडस्ट्रीज और फ्रंटियर टेक्नोलॉजी पर रहा है। मेरा आपसे आग्रह है कि आप डिफेंस, स्पेस, टेलीकॉम और एआई जैसे क्षेत्रों में साझेदारी बढ़ाएं। तीसरा, एक क्लीन एंड सस्टेनेबल फ्यूचर दोनों की प्राथमिकता है। ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन से लेकर सोलर एनर्जी और स्मार्ट ग्रिड, हर क्षेत्र में हमें ज्वाइंट रिसर्च और इन्वेस्टमेंट बढ़ाना चाहिए। दोनों इंडस्ट्रीज को मिलकर स्मॉल मॉड्यूलर रिएक्टर्स और सस्टेनेबल मोबिलिटी पर भी काम करना चाहिए। इसके साथ साथ वाटर मैनेजमेंट, सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी और सस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चर, हर क्षेत्र में मिलकर सॉल्यूशंस डेवलप करने चाहिए। फ्रेंड, आज के इन ऐतिहासिक निर्णयों के बाद अब विशेष जिम्मेदारी आप सभी पर है। अब अगला कदम बिजनेस कम्युनिटी को उठाना है। द बॉल इज ऑन योर कोर्ट। आपके आपसी सहयोग से ही हमारी साझेदारी, ट्रस्ट, रीच और स्केल मिलेगा। आपके प्रयासों से हम शेयर्ड प्रॉस्पेरिटी हासिल कर पाएंगे। आइए हम अपनी अपनी क्षमताएं जोड़ें और पूरी दुनिया के लिए ग्रोथ का डबल इंजन बने। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
So those were Prime Minister Narendra Modi's remarks at the Business Forum of India-EU. He was highlighting the robust business and investment ties between India and the European Union. Prime Minister Modi highlighted the strong cooperation between European business leaders in manufacturing, service sectors. In particular, he invited the EU business leaders to adopt a whole-of-society approach to open markets of the two regions. The sectors Prime Minister Modi enumerated will get a significant boost. These are textiles, gems and jewellery, auto parts, engineering goods. He also mentioned that new opportunities will be created in food and fisheries sector because of the historic India-EU FTA signed today. He said the future is of a partnership that can be used for the benefit of global good. And for that, Prime Minister Modi gave 3 priorities to all the business leaders present at the fora. These 3 priorities included de-risking our dependencies in an era of global uncertainty. He described particular importance to be given to collaboration in defense, space and telecom sectors. And lastly, he said that there should be joint research and investment for clean and sustainable energy future. He mentioned of co-developing small nuclear reactors, water management, circular economy, sustainable agriculture, to name a few. Earlier today, Prime Minister Modi also stressed that India's cooperation with the European Union could help bring stability to a global order facing turmoil. Let's listen to that as well.
आज ग्लोबल ऑर्डर में बड़ी उथल-पुथल है। ऐसे में भारत और यूरोपियन यूनियन की साझेदारी अंतर्राष्ट्रीय सिस्टम में स्थिरता को मजबूती देगी। इस संदर्भ में आज हमने यूक्रेन, पश्चिमी एशिया, इंडो पैसिफिक सहित कई वैश्विक मुद्दों पर विस्तार से चर्चा की।
In her address, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen described the free trade agreement as the mother of all deals.
We did it. we delivered the mother of all deals. We are creating a market of 2 billion people, and this is the tale of two giants, the world's second and fourth largest economies, two giants who choose partnership in a true win-win fashion. A strong message that cooperation is the best answer to global challenges. This trade will integrate further our supply chain and strengthen our joint manufacturing power. It will cut up to 4 billion euros in annual tariffs for exporters of all sizes. And it will create good jobs for millions of workers here in India and in Europe.
At the press conference, President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, said that the two largest economies, India and the EU, are taking their partnership to a new level. He also called India as the world's fastest growing major economy.
Today, we are taking our partnership to the next level. As the two largest democracies in the world, we are working hand in hand to deliver concrete benefits for our citizens and to shape a resilient global order that underpins peace and stability, economic growth, and sustainable development. I would like to share three messages. First, the European Union and India must work together towards our shared prosperity and security. India is the world's fastest growing major economy. Trade has flowed between our two continents for centuries. And trade is crucial geopolitical stabilizer and the fundamental source of economic growth. Trade agreements reinforce rules-based economic order and promote shared prosperity.
The European Council President further expressed gratitude to Prime Minister Modi for his invitation at the Republic Day celebrations held on Monday. Antonio Costa added that India and the European Union are opening a new chapter in their relations.
Thank you, dear Prime Minister Modi, for welcoming us on this special occasion. We were privileged yesterday to be your chief guests for the Republic Day celebrations. Such an impressive display of India's capabilities and diversity. Today is a historic moment. We are opening a new chapter in our relations on trade, on security, on people-to-people ties. I'm the President of the European Council, but I'm also an overseas Indian citizen.
All right, let's take a look at some of the key highlights of President of the European Council, Antonio Costa's press statement. Costa said that it's a historic moment as a new chapter is being written in India-EU ties, on trade, on security, on people-to-people ties. Costa said that connection between Europe and India are very personal to him, noting that he's very proud of his roots in Goa, where his father's family came from. He said that EU and India stand together as strategic and reliable partners at a time when the global order is being fundamentally reshaped. He said that both sides are taking their partnership to the next level. India and EU are the largest democracies of the world. He said they are working hand in hand to deliver concrete benefits for citizens of both the regions to shape a resilient global order that underpins peace and stability, economic growth and sustainable development. And he said EU and India must work towards shared prosperity and security of the region. Trade, he said, is a crucial geopolitical stabilizer. Trade is a fundamental source of economic growth. Trade agreements reinforce rules-based economic order and promote shared prosperity, Costa said. Today's free trade agreement is of historic importance, one of the most ambitious agreements ever concluded. He said it creates a market of 2 billion plus people. EU and India are working together to grow spheres of shared prosperity, strengthening cooperation to better protect our citizens and our shared interests, working together to counter a full range of security threats in the Indo-Pacific, in Europe and around the world. He said it starts a new level of strategic trust, and he said that this is the significance of the agreement on a security and defence partnership level. EU and India share the responsibility of upholding international law with UN Charter at its core. He also remembered Mahatma Gandhi, his words in particular that say that peace will not come out of a clash of arms, but out of justice lived and done by unarmed nations in the face of odds. Finally, he said that this summit reaffirms commitment to supporting efforts towards a comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine. He said that they are all supporting efforts to reach a just and sustainable peace. Ukraine has shown its readiness, including at the cost of difficult compromises. He further said that EU can count on Prime Minister Modi to help create conditions for peace through dialogue and diplomacy. He said, together we must show leadership on global issues. Cooperation between EU and India will help shape a more balanced, resilient and inclusive global order. He said, today we have made tangible progress and set an example of cooperative leadership on global issues. With our free trade agreement, with our security and defence partnership and with our joint strategic agenda for 2030. So Prime Minister Narendra Modi held delegation-level talks with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen, and the President of the European Council, Antonio Luis Santos da Costa, at the Hyderabad House in New Delhi. The Indian delegation comprised of several leaders, including External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal, Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri, National Security Advisor G. Dobal, among others. The European delegation was led by President of the European Council, Antonio Costa, and President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. Other key leaders present included EU Vice President Kaja Kallas and European Union Trade Commissioner Marko Sefcovic. The leaders also held a restricted meeting at the Hyderabad House. On Tuesday, Prime Minister Modi hailed the India-EU Free Trade Agreement, reiterating it as the mother of all deals and how it illustrates the partnership between two major economies of the world. So the deal becomes significant as it links two major economies that command a quarter of the world's GDP. India's Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, along with the three service chiefs, met a high-level European Union delegation led by Kaja Kallas, EU High Representative for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, on Tuesday in New Delhi. This meeting comes as India and the European Union mark a coming together to form a security and defence partnership, a significant step in strengthening bilateral cooperation in areas such as defence capabilities, counter-terrorism, cyber and maritime security.
And your visit is very special as it comes on the occasion of our 77th Republic Day. The occasion marks a moment in celebration of India's constitutional journey and the reaffirmation of our commitment to global peace and security. Secretly, the shared principles of democracy, multilateralism, and the rule of law support India's growing partnership with the European Union. Together we seek to translate each shared value into practical cooperation for global security, sustainable growth, and inclusive prosperity. Secondly, the signing of the security and the defence partnership between India and the European Union is a reflection of established trust in action, and it brings us together in an increasingly complex global environment. I hope the increased momentum of India-EU partnership in economic, defence and people-to-people connect will bring the two ancient civilizations much closer.
So that's it in this broadcast. More news on India-EU partnership will continue on the other side. Stay tuned to DD India.